Hello and welcome to Video Game Hangover. I'm Randy Dickinson and I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Hey, I'm DJ Ross. I am in Mountain View, California.
On every episode of Video Game Hangover, we talk about the games that have been keeping us up at night. This week, we are kicking off our summer Backlog Attack, copyright 2025, with Super Mario Sunshine and Air Combat 22.
Oh, spoilers.
Everyone's favorite Mario game, and I presume everyone's favorite Air Combat game.
First 21 Air Combats just didn't hit, but they really were onto something with this installment.
The sequel thing is just wildly out of control.
Yes. I played something else with just a wild sequel, like an inappropriate number after the end of the title recently. What was it? I was just like, why is this happening so often? Why can't people just get their numbers straight? It was not even a Square Enix game, I don't think. But anyway, it was very confusing. Oh, no, it was... No, I didn't actually play it. There was like... I talked to you about this last week. There was like a Dragon Ball fighting game that came out in the 90s that was like Dragon Ball 30 or something. Oh. And I was like, did they really make 30 Dragon Ball games on the Super Famicom or whatever? But no, I think they're just 30 characters or whatever number in it.
Anyway, right. Yep.
Very confusing. Very confusing.
It sounds deliberately confusing.
Yeah, but it was like, for a second, like just a split second, I thought, oh, well, Dragon Ball is pretty popular. Maybe they really did make that many Dragon Ball games, but that's absurd. Why would I think that?
Yeah. I mean, video games had only been a thing for 3 or 4 years at that point.
Yeah, that's true. They were really just on a tear with those Dragon Ball fighting games. They couldn't put them out fast enough.
10 a year, yeah.
Mm.
Well, cool. So yeah, was I not supposed to share that we're doing the backlog, or just not share those games? But I'm not sure.
No, I don't actually care. I was just like,
okay, all right. But yeah, the backlog is upon us. We'll dig into that a little bit later.
I was realizing that I think usually we have shared our lists at this point, so
yeah,
those titles would be less confusing to people.
I remember asking you a couple weeks ago, should we start teasing the Backlog Attack? And it was way too early, and now it's way too late.
Yes, well, that's true. Okay, I'm going to write this down. Do it a week earlier than usual.
Yep. What Randy says, should we start now?
Yeah. I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Our stream announcement is also a Backlog Attack spoiler. So
it is. Oh, no, yeah. It is. Yeah. Okay.
So coming up... No.
Let's just do it.
Okay, coming up on Monday, August 11th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, join us for Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, God. What? Who's playing that? Am I playing
OG.
that?
I believe you are, yeah.
Oh, man. Whose idea was this?
I mean, I already played it when I was 14.
Did you really? Have you played this?
I think I've played all the Banjo-Kazooie games.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, not to completion or anything, but...
Mm-hmm.
There's the one, what was the one that was on Xbox? I think it was just on Xbox, where you build vehicles and ride them around.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
Bolts.
Nuts and bolts. There you go. That's the one I like the most.
That was the one. This is I feel like everybody hates that one because it was
really?
So different than all the other. I mean, it's not a traditional Banjo-Kazooie game, right? So that's probably why people were upset about it. But I'm kind of in the same boat. I heard what they were doing with that, and I thought, oh, well, that actually sounds much better than the other games.
I know you're not a big fan of the 3D platformers, so
I'm not really, and especially a lot of the stuff Rare was doing on the N64. I was just who is that for? Probably not for me, but people speak very highly of this, and it's the Backlog Attack, so why not? It's now or never. You're playing Banjo-Kazooie.
That's the spirit. So yeah, Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. This is coming up on August 11th. We'll be streaming. DJ actually will be streaming Banjo-Kazooie. You can go to twitch.tv/VGHangover to tune in and watch that happen. I'll be there as well to cheer him on.
Yeah.
It should be good.
I hope so. I hope it goes better than Mario Sunshine.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of spoilers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you already said that one.
Yeah. So the Backlog Attack, this is a thing. If you're somehow new to listening to Video Game Hangover, that me and DJ and previous co-hosts have done, I think, since the first year of VGH.
I think so. It's one of our longest running traditions.
Yeah, where we kind of isolate a month in the middle of the year to try to clean up some of the old games in our collections. The original thought process on this was, back in the day, the summer was like the doldrums of video game releases, and we could play things without there being a threat of an imminent new release. And as time has gone by, that has become less of a thing. But we've tried to keep up with the Backlog Attack nonetheless.
I feel like the doldrums are kind of back this year. Like, there's not a lot coming out this month. Although, I think, at least the last 2 years in a row, if not more, there has been a massive Final Fantasy patch happening at the same time as all of this. I'm just like, oh, well, that's not convenient.
Is that not happening this year?
Oh, no, it's happening, it happened 2 days ago when this show comes out. So I'm going to tough it out and play some 3D platformers instead.
I am also still very much engaged with Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza, so I'm trying to enjoy some old games in the interim.
Well, you can take a little break from those.
Yeah, totally. August actually will end with the new add-on pack for the Kirby game coming too, so it is all Nintendo all the time.
Wow, yeah, this is really, Switch launch has been real good for you. Everybody else is
yeah.
I feel like it was kind of underwhelming in some circles, but it's just been nonstop.
I mean, it's underwhelming in nearly every other way, but there's a couple of bangers in there.
Yeah. I mean, at least the price didn't go up. I mean, it kind of preemptively went up. Maybe it just the less said about how much everything costs these days, the better.
Yeah. Complaining about it doesn't help.
Anyway, we're playing some old games this month.
We're going to play some old games, yeah. Would you like to share a list?
I might as well at this point.
We've shared half of it already.
We share the rest of it. Okay, so what have we even said? So Banjo-Kazooie. I don't know how much more I need to set this up. I'm traditionally not a huge 3D platformer fan, but this is the stuff I said 5 minutes ago.
Yep.
This one is held in fairly high esteem. And I just thought, why not? So let's see what this is like. Maybe it'll just turn out that I've been missing out for the last, whenever this came out, 25 years, 30 years, I don't know. So we'll see how that is. Next on the list, I'll be playing the original Unreal, which I also, I just don't know a lot about this. It was sort of a first-person shooter. That came out around the same time as Half-Life. And it has some tenuous connection to the Unreal Tournament. I mean, the same developer, Epic, did all of these.
Yeah. Before they made Fortnite, they made other games.
Yes, before they were the Fortnite company, they were the Unreal company, believe it or not. And I played hundreds of hours of Unreal Tournament, but never a single hour of the game that sort of preceded it. So I was like, what's that about? I'm not expecting deep connections or anything. I think, if anything, maybe a couple characters. I think there's an alien race that also appears in Unreal Tournament. But I think that this will just be a fun thing to check out.
Cool.
Which one of these weird games should I play next? On today's episode, I'll be talking about Air Combat 22. So I'll get to that in a little bit. But then I'm going to round it out with Anthem from BioWare, which is kind of a weird choice because it wasn't really on my short list of things to play. Did not get especially glowing reviews when it came out. I think it actually had a pretty rough release. And I think at one point they were talking about re-engineering the whole thing. But instead they just decided they're going to shut the whole thing down instead. That's much easier for everybody.
Just throw it away and fire everyone.
Yeah. I mean, it's not great for BioWare employees. But it came out recently, or in the last few months anyway, that the server shutdown's happening next year. So I thought, well, again, now or never. So
right, if you don't play it now, you won't get a chance to. So
yeah, I don't have like, I don't know what I expect. I don't know if it's going to be like BioWare's Destiny or like an online kind of thing. But I played the sort of online test when it initially came out. And I'm a big like Mass Effect fan. I don't know if that even has any, like if that's important at all for enjoying Anthem. But I'm just kind of curious to see what their take on sort of the online multiplayer loot shooter is. So that will hopefully be cool.
Yeah. I also played that test back in the day. I think we played it together, and I've not touched it since. So curious myself.
And I was like, I don't remember it being terrible, but I didn't end up playing it beyond that. So I don't know.
Cool.
What else is BioWare doing these days? They just did they just had Dragon Age come out, right? So I don't really hear a lot from them these days, unfortunately.
Yeah. They had that what's that old game they re-released? I don't know.
Old BioWare game?
I thought there was an old BioWare game that recently got a re-release. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Oh, are you thinking of Oblivion?
Oblivion. Is that not BioWare?
No, that was Bethesda.
Oh.
That's the Elder Scrolls series.
Starts with a B. Yeah. Never mind.
It's like, what are the old BioWare games? Like, what's older than... It'd be like Star Wars.
What does Randy think an old BioWare game is?
Like, was it Sonic the Hedgehog? Oh, no, that was a BioWare game.
There's some Sonic in there, yeah.
Okay. Oh, bad example. Okay, never mind.
I should play that. That's I have that somewhere here.
Yeah. Oh, man. Anyway, that's my weird list.
For the listeners who were curious, BioWare did make a Sonic game at some point. It was an RPG called The Dark Brotherhood. On the DS or 3DS. Yeah, it's still the only Sonic game I've ever played.
Yeah, it's weird. That's really weird.
So my list, the aforementioned Super Mario Sunshine, everyone's favorite Mario game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of these are not so old, but old enough. RoboCop Rogue City, a couple of years old, but was positively reviewed when it came out. And I've had it sitting on my Xbox for 2 years, I think. So excited to play that. There's some DLC coming for that. I think right now it's out imminently. So kind of check out the vanilla game.
What are you doing the DLC?
I don't know what the DLC is. It's some other thing.
I hope that there's a character in it who is named DLC, because that's my favorite thing about the RoboCop series.
Characters named DLC?
No, like in RoboCop 2. Okay, never mind. No, nobody. Okay, never mind.
There was a character in RoboCop 2 named DLC?
No, there was a character named RoboCop 2.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'm with you.
Okay, never mind. Okay, I should have thought that through more.
No, you're good. I've seen RoboCop 2. I just don't know why I didn't pull that reference out. Next on my list is the Plucky Squire. This is probably the newest game on my list.
Well, I was like, this just came out. And
this is a couple of years. Yeah, maybe a year.
Okay.
It was last fall. So maybe not even a year. But no, it has been sitting on my Switch for months and months and months, waiting to be played. I just got an alert from Limited Run that they're putting out a physical edition. I'm like, well, I paid for and then immediately did not play the downloadable version of this back in the day. So I will revisit that. And then last but not least, Hades.
This is an interesting choice.
Which is not really the kind of thing I generally like, which is a very...
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Combat-driven roguelike, right?
Yep.
But this has also been sitting on my Switch since release. I believe the year that this came out, our mutual friend and former co-host Paul was a huge fan of this game and bought me a copy of it for Christmas I immediately did not play. So it's time to get around to it, I think. Hades 2 is imminent, so I will check out Hades 1.
Yeah. I enjoyed Hades 1.
Yeah. I like supermassive games usually.
Supergiant. right?
Supergiant.
Supermassive? Supermassive is, I mean, it's confusing because I think that is another studio, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, you like both of them.
Well, I'll have to do some research on that. But
but I mean, yeah, it is very much. It shares a lot with their previous games, sort of in like the direction, and there's a lot of voiceover, which is weird that that's sort of their trademark. But it's still true with Hades.
And the thing that I recall not liking about previous games is it's a lot of, and you know where I'm going with this, DJ, invisible walls that pop up.
As soon as you said that, I was like,
You're running down a hallway thinking you're going to go through a door, but oh no, invisible wall, and you've got to kill some dudes before the door opens again.
I think that's hilarious. That's your hang up.
That's my association with that, and that I find it annoying.
Well, yeah, because to me, when you say that, it just sounds like, I didn't think I was going to have to play a video game today, and now look what they're making me do.
Yeah.
But let me just say, if you don't like that about their previous games, then you are in for a treat with Hades. That's like all that happens.
20 minutes or so of Hades, and that's pretty much it. So, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna fine tune the settings down to a nice low effort on my behalf, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, maybe this is like it's like exposure therapy or whatever. What do they call that? Maybe you'll come out of this being like, oh, actually, that's my favorite thing.
Yep. The thing that it reminds me of is Death's Door is the game that I played recently that is sort of similarly structured to this. And I really like that game. And it is surprisingly difficult. So maybe there's a part of me that will enjoy Hades too. We'll see how it goes.
Those will be very interesting.
Yeah. So that is my list. Probably won't play them in that order, but we'll see how it goes. I think RoboCop's the longest one, so it's probably the one to end with.
For some reason, didn't they make a RoboCop game recently that was like a 2D side-scrolling kind of deal?
I don't know.
Am I just thinking about the RoboCop arcade game from the 80s?
Maybe. Maybe. That.
For some reason, that's how I imagine this game. So whenever you say you're playing this, I'm just like, weird. Why would you play that? But no, it's like a first-person shooter almost, right?
It's first-person shooter. Yep. Peter Weller is back as RoboCop.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited about it. I was excited about it when it came out a year ago. I didn't play it, so this is my chance to get around to it. So that is my backlog attack for this year. We would love for anybody in the community to join us in maybe mopping up some of the games in your collection as well. You certainly don't have to stick to our format or timeline. Come as you are, attack it any way you want. If you want to share your list or cheer us on, you can go to the Backlog Attack channel on our Discord. Go to VGHangover.com for a link to that. We'd love to know what you're playing. We'd love to know what you finish. And we'll all celebrate when you cross the finish line and see credits roll on some of these games.
Yeah. It's always fun to see what people have been kind of sitting on, or what they decide to drag out of the closet, or whatever metaphor you want to use for these things.
Drag anything out of the closet. We had a couple of folks already working on some of the old games in their collection. I'm trying to get to our Backlog Attack Discord right now and see what's on here.
Somebody playing one of those ease games one of these years. I'll play one of those. Couldn't tell you which one it is.
I'm filtering through everybody guessing what your list was.
Yeah, I already shared my list with everybody at this point, so everybody knew. No spoilers.
Yeah. Our buddy Twisted Link has Spider-Man 2 for PS5, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Dead Space 2 Remake, and Horizon Forbidden West that he would like to get to.
Man, those are not the shortest games
ever
made.
That's very ambitious.
Remember the one year you were like, I'm going to play every Persona game?
I was so young and naive.
Just casually throw a Persona onto the list.
Super Leaf just finished Metroid Zero.
Oh, yeah, that one's good.
Zero Mission, our friend and yours, Arcasa, is working on finishing Zero Mission as well.
Why is everybody playing Metroid? Are they trying to get caught up for Prime 4? Is that what's going on?
I'm not sure.
I saw, I don't understand, I can't understand it, but I did not realize how invested people are in sort of the Metroid lore and timeline. There was a guy posting around when that Metroid Prime 4 trailer came out. That was how many previous Metroid games do I need to play to be ready for this? Just so I understand everything. Do I need to play Metroid Federation Force? And you should just relax and play the game when it comes out.
DJ and I had entertained playing Other M, everyone's favorite Metroid game.
I do want to play it at some point. Because for me, this is just sort of a weird gaming anthropological experiment. That's why I'm playing Air Combat or whatever. So at some point I do want to play Other M.
Curious myself, but the thought of playing a fully motion control game in 2025 just fills me with dread.
Isn't it a side scroller most of the time?
Fills me with Metroid dread.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't know.
Well, we'll never know until we both play it.
Yeah. I have a copy still in the plastic. It's going to take a lot to get it out of the plastic.
Send it to me. I'll play it.
So those are our lists. We would love to hear yours. Much more information on our Discord. Go to VGHangover.com for a link.
Yeah.
So we are devoting all of our shows and streaming nights this month to the backlog. So make sure you check out Banjo-Kazooie and more to come.
Yeah. At some point I'm going to sneak an Unreal stream in there somewhere. So figure that out as well.
Cool. Is that from the same era as, what was the one you played last year, Marathon?
Oh, it's, man, time moves so quickly back then, or so slowly. One of those things. It's from a few years, or actually probably from many years after Marathon.
Oh, okay,
but
gotcha.
It's one of the first 3D. Is that accurate? 3D first-person shooters.
Oh.
It's kind of it's infamous. There was a magazine article on it at the time that just had a big screenshot of some Unreal alien on the cover, and it's the headline or whatever was yes, that is an actual screenshot from a video game, and it was because it was so mind-blowing at the time, the 3D graphics. But if you look at it now, it's kind of silly because it just looks like a stupid 1997 or whenever monster. But nice. I always think of that and Half-Life as being in the same era. So
gotcha.
Closer to Half-Life definitely than Marathon.
Cool. All right. So, how is Air Combat 22?
I really enjoyed it.
Oh.
This one is just a quick one. So I was let's just start off the backlog with something easy this year, because I'm also still playing Death Stranding. That never ends. But Air Combat 22, this is it was an arcade game, actually developed by Namco in the 90s. And it got on my radar a little bit because, first of all, I'm a big Ace Combat fan. And, I meant to straighten this all out before sitting down to record, but too late now. It was, I believe the lineage is, so there was Air Combat, which was a fighter jet sim in the arcades. And then that eventually made its way onto PlayStation and became Ace Combat, or it was called Ace Combat in Japan, and the US version was called Air Combat. But eventually the console sort of branch of the series became the Ace Combat games. But then there was this one, Air Combat 22, the follow-up to Air Combat. And the reason the 22 is on there is because this was on Namco's new System 22 arcade board. So it's not the 22nd Ace Combat game.
And it didn't come out in 2022.
No, it didn't, that wasn't even why. So it's not a 3-year-old flight sim. But yeah, that's how it ended up with this incredibly confusing title. And also just released for the Switch 2 and other platforms as part of the Arcade Archives 2 series. I don't know how much you've been following these. The Arcade Archives series, which has just been a bunch of sort of like arcade ports for... I always think of it as like primarily on the Switch, but I'm pretty sure they're on other stuff as well. But they're by this sort of developer called Hamster, and the philosophy behind them is to deliver kind of like the most authentic arcade experience possible for these old games. So they've done a ton of releases already, a lot of which have been like old 2D arcade games primarily. But with the more recent ones, they have been venturing into sort of like the 3D era. Like they had the arcade Ridge Racer out at the Switch 2 launch as part of the series, and now there's Air Combat 22, which I think is exciting because, when I think back to the arcades in the 90s, it was like, I mean, sure, you had a bunch of fighting games and stuff, but then there were like all the Namco games, like Air Combat and like Time Crisis, which was also a System 22 game. So I've already seen people being like, oh, I wonder what the odds are we'll get a Time Crisis port on modern systems. But I always just think of these games that were like the like kind of like almost larger than life experience, like stuff you really couldn't do on a console back then, whether it was because it had like a light gun or a jet fighter kind of cockpit setup, or if you played like, what was the it was like Alpine Racer or something like that, the skiing or snowboarding game.
Oh,
but there's just all this special arcade hardware that you would go to the arcade and be like, oh, there's this like crazy kind of like simulation video game you can check out, and you can't really port it very easily to the like home consoles. So it's kind of like the last, or one of the big highlights of the arcade experience at the time. But with all that said, I don't think I ever actually played Air Combat in the arcades back in the day, or whatever they were calling it back then. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to finally check it out and see sort of like where the Ace Combat series came from. And I was not very surprised to discover that it really is just kind of flying around and doing dogfighting in a style that's very reminiscent of all the Ace Combat games. Like you're in the cockpit, it's either in first person or you can get a behind the plane view as you go after all these targets. And if you've played any of the Ace Combat games or something similar, it's very familiar in that you're just sort of shooting down enemy fighters. It's slightly different because this is an arcade format game, and it's not like sort of the console experience that has a long like campaign mode or anything, where there are modes that are more around like scoring or sort of time attack. It's like how many planes can you shoot down in a specific amount of time, or how far can you continuously shoot down planes, because like each one you shoot down extends your time limit a little bit, which is kind of like, oh yeah, I remember arcade games. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, you get more play for your quarter.
Yeah. And it's not a long game by any means, because you're not really expected to spend the whole afternoon playing this. So or at least as I was playing this, I would go through a couple levels, a couple different scenarios, and then sort of do the final mission, and then like that would be it. You put your name into the high score screen and put in a couple more credits if you want to play again. But it's such a minimal experience. I really enjoyed it. It was just kind of a nice break from just spending another 50 hours in Death Stranding or whatever, just methodically placing buildings or roads or whatever. And here comes Air Combat. And it's like, hey, just hop into a plane for a few minutes and see how many fighters you can shoot down. I was a little worried because in the sections of Ace Combat games that have been like the really sort of intense dogfighting, I feel like just from playing those, I sort of suspect that like I'm not actually good at dogfighting. Like there's something about it that I don't understand about like maneuvering the plane to like get behind your like opponents while they're also trying to like stay behind you. Sometimes I have a difficult time doing that. Like there was I remember this one specific mission in Ace Combat 4 that was like, I had to turn the difficulty down because I just could not figure out how to just maneuver the plane correctly. And so that's kind of stuck with me, and I thought, well, I wonder if there's just something I don't understand fundamentally about how to fly a jet fighter. And I was worried that like, since this version of it is primarily around dogfighting, that like, I don't know, maybe I will just be awful at this. But luckily, the first couple of difficulty settings is totally fine. Like I feel like they are maybe a little too easy. Like they just set you up with some bombers to shoot down, and they have a very minimal fighter escort. But then there's this one mode that after you've done sort of the basic difficulty ones, that is just the pure dogfighting mode. And this one's like, okay, this one is like for the people who just spend all their time at the arcades mastering the first couple of difficulty levels. This is like the final challenge for them. And this one, I think I shot down like maybe one or two planes, and I could not get the time extension to keep playing. So on some level, I was like, okay, well, I guess maybe that's something to work towards if I feel like continuing this. But yeah, it did not really convince me that like, oh yeah, maybe I really do understand how you're supposed to handle your plane in a dogfight. But yeah, it was just kind of a quick, sort of brief arcade experience. I don't play a lot of these direct arcade ports, so it's kind of fun to jump into one of these once in a while. You like, you know, put in your fake credits or whatever, and even before that, you can go through the sort of arcade operator configuration menus and change a bunch of parameters, like how much health your planes and opponents have and stuff like that.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like a fun little like behind the scenes look on just like how arcade games operated back in the day. And that's been sort of a signature of this Arcade Archive series, is a lot of them will let you go in and like tweak stuff like that. So that's cool. And on top of that, it just feels like a very solid port of this game. Even though, as I said, I hadn't actually played this, it's like it runs very smoothly. It's a little dated, I guess, being, you know, an arcade game from like 1995 or whatever. So if you can sort of envision what it's like to play that, it's a good way to set your expectations. But yeah, it's still just a fun, just arcadey experience. I can see myself hopping into it every once in a while.
And where does it connect to sorry, I'm completely blanked on the new games.
Ace Combat?
Ace Combat, yeah.
Like in what way? I mean, like it sort of predates, or it's like after or at the same time as Ace Combat 1, essentially. And then they went with kind of a different experience with the later ones. They became more campaign focused. Although right. I didn't really get into the series too much until 4. So I imagine that it took some time to get into that sort of format. At some point, I'd like to check out Ace Combat 2 and 3 because I like people speak very highly about those as well. But I would expect them to be more of the just like pure sort of like combat experience.
Right.
Oh man, I actually went back and played a little bit of Ace Combat 7 after playing this because I'd never finished that. I just started a new game, just sort of for the novelty of like playing that immediately after this. And man, I forgot how sort of like long-winded the cutscenes are in that. It's like kind of absurd, and that's kind of become a signature of the series to have these extremely melodramatic like cutscenes and like conversations between the other the pilots in your wing or your squadron or whatever during the mission. But it's very silly in the modern games.
Yeah, that wouldn't fly at the arcade.
No, like you couldn't be sitting there just like, you're like sitting in the cockpit, just like waiting for the game to start, and somebody's talking about, when I used to build, or when I used to restore fighter jets with my grandparents or whatever. That would not be great.
And I there was a period where like flying games were a thing, and it does not feel like it's. I mean, other than Flight Simulator, right? I feel like there's a new Flight Simulator every couple of years.
Yeah, but what period are you talking? Like a couple years ago, 20 years ago?
I remember like Star Fox games and Pilot Wings games, and what was the one I liked on the Xbox? Crimson Skies. That was a good game.
Yeah,
I played a lot of that. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of platformers always sort of like shoehorned in a flying segment or a flying sequence. Spyro 2, I think it gets crazy hard when Spyro figures out he can fly. So yeah, I feel like there was always, at least there was an era where there was a flying component or a flying subgenre that was pretty pervasive in video games, and it's less of a thing these days, it seems like, or it goes under my radar because it's not something I'm looking for.
I think I had that same response last year when I played Crimson Skies, because I was like, this is fun. Why don't they make these anymore? And I suspect that like there are probably some like more on the indie scale of things, some people that still do, and I just don't know about them. Like there was, oh man, I can't remember. It was like Project Wingman or something. Somebody made a flight sim a few years ago that was very clearly in sort of the Ace Combat mold, because it had been a long time between Ace Combat games at that point. But yeah, I'm always like, why aren't there more sort of Star Fox games? There have also been a couple attempts at something very similar to Star Fox, but it feels like whenever I run into one of those, they're still in early access or something like that. So I just think, okay, well, I'll check back in on it in a few years, and then I always forget. So I think it's partially on me.
Sorry, I've been trying to go through my encyclopedia in my brain of like every video game where I've ever flown an airplane. Yeah, it's like Battlefield and even the Call of Duty games had flying sequences in them. Yeah, I remember thinking playing the campaign in one of the modern Call of Duty ones, Modern Warfare Infinite. Is that a thing?
Mm-hmm. Infinite Warfare.
There you go. Maybe that's it. And there were flying sequences. But you didn't have to take off or land. You would just sort of like get close enough to the airport and a tractor beam would pull you in. And I was like, oh, we found a sci-fi solution for the worst part of any flying game. Yeah.
There was like, oh, no, this is terrible because I can't remember the name of this one either, but there was like a space flight sim, which is, I don't know, maybe some people consider this a whole different genre. It came out a few years ago, where they made one that was like a roguelike almost, and then the second one, like the sequel, was had more of a campaign. But like those were cool.
Yeah.
It's not quite Star Fox, but it was maybe a little closer to Ace Combat.
No Man's Sky. I was always an element of No Man's Sky, I think, from the jump, and I was just as bad at taking off and landing in those games. So, what was one of the Star Trek movies where they're taking off and they're scraping the starfighter against the side of the launch tube? Like that was always me.
That was the Galaxy Quest.
Was that Galaxy Quest? Am I confusing Galaxy Quest and Star Trek?
The people in Star Trek know how to do their job. Excuse me.
But they're pulling out of the shuttle and it's scraping against the wall. Maybe
you're thinking one of the J.J. Abrams one, or Chris Pine or whoever was like, I don't need rules to fly this thing.
It was that Star Trek movie that Sigourney Weaver was in.
Yes. Yeah. One of my favorites.
Yeah. Good times. So yeah, that's basically my approach to any flying in any video game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if Air Combat 22 is for you, but maybe they'll, I don't know. Well, now I'm just trying to think of other arcade flight sims. Like, I mean, I don't know if I would call like Afterburner a flight sim necessarily, but as long as they're making sort of ports of the more arcadey stuff, I don't know. They ported that one actually. That would be cool.
Well, cool. This is a pretty deep dive.
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of excited to see that it was popping up on the Switch because there was like this sort of piece of Ace Combat history that was suddenly available that I'd not necessarily heard of. I thought, okay, well, see what it's about.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of like, when are they going to put Time Crisis on the Switch? But it's another question.
It's got to have like a little paddle.
Yeah. You like put one of the Joy-Cons on the floor or something.
On the floor and just step on it, yeah. Get in the castle and rescue Rachel.
Yeah. Oh, man. A lot of potential now that they're getting into like mid to late 90s arcade stuff. Some cool stuff can pop up on there.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, those games should be preserved any way you can, right? They're probably not a ton of those consoles that are still working, and they're certainly not in arcades anymore. So, yeah, those games should be kept somewhere for safekeeping.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be doing a pretty good job. Like, I didn't play a whole lot of the first series, the Arcade Archive series, but there are a lot of them. You like go to their the developer site, and it's like, oh man, maybe it'd be worth checking some of these out.
Take a look at that. There was the one brand that was doing all of the pinball game preservation, turning them into
Yeah.
So is it on the Switch? Is it that thing where you buy the app and you have access to all of these old games, or do you buy the games a la carte? How does it work on the Switch?
No, they're all standalone.
Oh, gotcha.
And there's also another layer of confusion where there's like the Arcade Archives brand, and now there's like this Arcade Archives 2 like side brand or whatever, and it's not totally clear to me what the distinction is. I think Arcade Archives 2, like they added a few new modes. Like there's like a network mode where it uploads your score online, so you can compare how you did with other players and stuff like that. But like there's also an Arcade Archives Air Combat 22 versus the one I played, which is Arcade Archives 2 Air Combat 22. So it's just kind of confusing.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, they're all standalone. It's not like the pinball app, or like Capcom had their own retro arcade app for a while.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But that's sort of their approach to it.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
So I've been playing, I think you've been playing as well, Super Mario Sunshine.
Yeah. This is, I think everybody was waiting to hear about this.
We streamed this last week as well. So how did I miss Super Mario Sunshine? I like the 3D Mario games. Odyssey, I love. I like the Galaxy games. Just somehow never got to Sunshine. And I recall it not being anyone's favorite, honestly, when it first came out. And I think over the years, people have like revisited it and reconsidered it. And it came out as part of that 3D All-Stars collection on the Switch a couple of years ago. I believe I played the other two games on there, did not play Sunshine. So I thought this would be a good opportunity. I was hoping there would be an Odyssey 2 at some point early in the Switch 2 life. And that clearly has not manifested yet. So itching for a little 3D Mario, and thought this would scratch the itch. Have you played this before?
I have. I've made several attempts. So I played it a little bit on GameCube, like far after the original release. For whatever reason, did not get... I actually don't remember how far I got into it on GameCube, but then I played it again when that All-Stars collection came out. And I loaded up my save this last weekend because I was going to make another go at it now that I have this GameCube controller for the Switch. And I had 10 shines on my old save file. So I was like, okay, that's like... It's not 0 shines, but it's not a lot.
It is exactly where you and I got when we were streaming the other night.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was the challenge. Somebody would give you something if you got a 10 shines, right?
Oh, no, those were the blue coins. So if you got 10
coins.
blue coins, you can get a shine. But I don't know what combination of activities I did to get those 10, but that's where I put the game down, apparently.
Oh, I wonder how many times I got
come out. It was like, was this during COVID? Like I want to say 2020, around then?
Yes. When I booted it up a couple weeks ago to play Sunshine, my save was from 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it was like the year of Mario, right? That was the Mario Anniversary Collection, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
And the weirdness with this collection was that it was limited time only. You can't buy this anymore unless you buy it from somebody else.
Yeah.
So it's not a thing you can get on store shelves or download from the eShop.
Yeah, which is annoying, but at least in Sunshine's case, I think they've already said that will be on the Switch 2 GameCube app.
Oh, cool. That would make sense.
Yeah.
So I thought this was a struggle. Really,
it looked like it was a struggle.
Yeah, it was. It had to be hard to watch because it was not fun to play. And I continued trying to play it after we streamed it and did not find it any more approachable. Certainly, there's a part of me that always assumes that old games are going to be hard to revisit. I don't have a lot of patience for video games the further back you go. And I thought maybe there was some of that happening with my experience with Sunshine. It didn't control great. Just trying to sort of get the aiming right on Mario has a backpack with hoses attached to it, and you do a lot of like rinsing off graffiti and things like that. And there's black toxic goo being spread all over this beautiful sunshiny island, and you have to wash it away. And just even being able to sort of like point the backpack in the right direction to do that task was really, really hard. The controls are inverted on the backpack, and I could not find a way to uninvert them. And only in the last 24 hours did you find a way to do it in the front end settings of the collection rather than in the settings of the game.
Yeah, you can't do it in the original game.
Yeah. So totally missed that. Maybe would have changed my approach to the game, but I was not fortunate to have stumbled upon that setting. And yeah, I think that the platforming in it is a little sloppy. It's got this weird thing where Mario kind of overruns everything.
Yes.
So you kind of
yeah. I was noticing this too. I mean, I was just like, I remember I've definitely played this, and I didn't keep playing it, and I couldn't really explain why, but it just never felt great.
Yeah.
So this time around, I was just like, okay, I'm really going to just scrutinize everything. And yeah, just something feels really weird about the platforming.
Yeah.
And like you said, when you said it just now, it's like, yeah, you really do. It really does feel like he's just kind of like a little slipperier than you want. And also, this is something I specifically noticed. It feels like you just run off the ends of platforms more than you do in other Mario games. Like you are getting ready to jump when you reach the edge, but you're already on the edge. It's too late, and you've fallen off before you can get the jump off.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was your exact experience, but as soon as I noticed that, I was like, oh yeah, this is something. It doesn't, if you've played a 3D Mario game before, I feel like you just intuitively understand when you need to jump off a platform, and the timing feels different in this.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. When we were streaming, I kept missing pretty easy jumps. And I found that super frustrating. The overrun thing is something that is in the Mario games. It's in Wonder. It's in Odyssey. It's this thing where if you sort of let go of the stick as Mario is running, he'll still take a couple of steps as he sort of slows down. He doesn't sort of stop on a dime. And it's interesting, and it's sort of, kind of unique to the way that Mario games kind of, at least some of them, control, but it does not feel good in Sunshine. No. And I'm not sure if this was the first time they did it, and it just wasn't tuned right or something, or just I keep wanting it to play like Odyssey, and it doesn't. But yeah, I was really having trouble with precision platforming. in Sunshine, and I found it super frustrating.
I feel like it's like the controls have only gotten more precise and sort of like accommodating as the series has gone on. But I also don't remember having this rough of an experience playing like Mario 64, which I also went back to when the collection came out. And like that was fine. And to be fair, I've played a lot more Mario 64 than I've ever played Mario Sunshine, but I just did not have that same experience of like, I just ran too far. I wonder if I feel like in other Mario games, they're just better at having you grab the ledge if it seems like you're gonna go off the platform by mistake. Like if you don't jump in time and you just kind of like walk off it, he will grab the ledge.
Oh, he just sort of drops and grabs the side of it. Sure.
Yeah, because I was really like, okay, I've fallen off ledges in other Mario games. Why is it so frustrating in this? And this is my other revelation about playing this, is that a lot of the times when you fall off a ledge in this, you fall off into a body of water. And then you have to you can't just jump back onto the ledge and try again. You have to swim all the way around this thing, make your way all the way back up to the platform, and then, then you try again.
Right.
Because so much of the game, you're on this island and, there's just water everywhere. And, that's a huge part of the game. But it just results in, mistakes while you're platforming are so much worse because they just take up so much more of your time now because you fall and have to, it takes so much longer to recover.
Yeah. I agree. So that was the point at which I stopped streaming. We were playing and I kept failing a jump.
Yeah.
That resulted in me landing in a body of water, and I would have to swim all the way back to the place where I got up onto the platforms and re-platform my way back to that spot. And after the second fail, I was like, nope, I think I'm done with this game.
Yeah, yeah. It's that port level or whatever, I remember being especially obnoxious because it's just you're just over a harbor the whole time. And if you mess up the point, they wouldn't just let you climb up on the other end of the harbor because that's where you're trying to get. You have to go all the way back, or at least partially back through the harbor. There's just so much more ground you have to make up. And yeah, the platforming just feels weird in general.
Yeah. I mean, I'm intrigued by the mechanic. I think if this played better, this could be a compelling. Every Mario game is about some tool or some trick, right? And they just sort of exploit it over and over again. Mm-hmm. Odyssey, in a lot of ways, is about Cappy and platforming with Cappy and all the things you can do with Cappy. And Sunshine, I think, is sort of a prototype for that version of a Mario experience, where you've got the backpack and it does a couple of things, and it's meant to be sort of your tool for getting through much of the game. And just using it is not fun.
Yeah,
so,
that's the other thing, is I feel like they just went way too far in on the backpack. Because something I like about the Mario games is they're so minimal, essentially. You have a very limited set of moves. You're really just jumping all over the place.
Right.
But in this one, you got the backpack. It's got the water gun thing. You've got the little hover jets, which also seems like it should be a good thing, but ends up. I just feel because you have them, they've now designed so much of the level around you having this ability. And then again, it just makes it more catastrophic if you mess up. Okay, so you messed up the hover thing as you're trying to get over this gap. Now just go around the entire map again and try again. It just makes it much more frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have to switch modes between hover and shooting the backpack. And it's this sort of it's a button press. You have to sort of hit the button and it goes from the water shooting out at your feet to shooting directly across at whatever the target is. And that transition just feels clumsy.
Yeah. That should have been, the hover thing should have just been the same as the jump button. I think that was just a case of, they didn't figure that out because that hadn't really been done. But this is hilarious. I was after coming back to this, I was just the hover thing is just that's the normal jump in Infinity Nikki, essentially. Like you jump and then you jump again and you get the hover thing.
It's a little float, yeah.
So like now, if you make a game in 2024, you just know how that works. But with Sunshine, they were still trying to figure out an elegant way to do that.
Yeah. It's the Yoshi jump, right? It's the you jump and you're sort of like throw Yoshi a little further up. So it's just a little, it's Princess Peach's float, basically, with her skirt. So.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they knew how to do it. They just, lost their minds for this one. I don't know why.
Yeah. It just feels like there is a concept here that is interesting, but the execution just didn't quite happen. And I don't know, I'm not sure what, the internal playtesting was or, what Nintendo was up to at the time. It just feels like a weird, half-polished artifact. Like they didn't quite stick the landing, to overuse a pun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to pile on, but I did not enjoy playing Super Mario Sunshine, unfortunately. So much so that I sort of reconsidered even including it in my Backlog Attack. I don't have to like the games that I Backlog Attack, but I do want to sort of get to some level of satisfactory completion of some of these games. And I'm never going to see the end of Mario Sunshine.
I think I may spend a little more time with it. Yeah. And now that I've said that, I'm just like, really? But I'm still just like, man, there are some people who really like this game. And I'm just like, why can't that be me? Because I like every other Mario game pretty much. I thought the GameCube controller would help. Despite me presumably playing it on a GameCube controller the first time I played it and didn't like it. But I find that does not... I mean, it hasn't significantly changed my experience with it. If anything, it's made it a little bit weirder because all of the button prompts are different because they changed all of them to be the Switch buttons, which don't match up one-to-one with the GameCube controller.
Oh, gotcha.
The one thing I was really expecting or really hoping would make a difference, and this was similar to my experience with F-Zero, is that the GameCube controller has those analog triggers that the Switch does not have. And it was sort of my understanding that you could use the analog trigger to have really fine control over the water spray, like the sort of pressure with which the water comes out of the backpack. So you can really shoot exactly where you're aiming. You can shoot a really low pressure stream if you need to. And I can't tell if they maybe they don't support that. I mean, there could be a whole lot of explanations for this. They didn't expect there to be a GameCube controller eventually when they made this specific port, so they didn't continue to support that. Since this, when they ported this to Switch, that didn't have analog triggers.
Right.
But I was just trying. I was really gently pulling the trigger to see if there was any sort of evidence of this being in the game still, and I could not figure out how it was supposed to work. It seemed like if you really just did a light pull on it, it would sort of shoot out water a very short distance. But then it would stop immediately to the extent where it felt I don't see why you would want to do that. It just felt like you pull the trigger for a split second and let go of it. But there was not really... I didn't find the sort of analog water controls that some people were suggesting were in the game. So I don't know if that they just overlooked it for this, or maybe it will be back when they add it to the Switch 2 app. So I don't know.
There is yet another secret menu of options you have to find to turn that on.
So the GameCube controller doesn't even have the minus button, so you can't even access that menu if you are playing. You're trying to play with the GameCube controller, which is another ridiculous thing.
And didn't map it to something else.
No, they forgot.
You know what I thought could benefit Sunshine immensely is the thing where you pull the trigger and it zooms in over your shoulder and you go into a first person shooting mode, and you can move the controller's little kind of rheostat motion controller thing gently to guide it.
Yeah.
I kept wanting Sunshine to do that with the backpack. I kept wanting to kind of fine tune my spray location by moving the actual controller itself in space, and that
would be cool.
Doesn't play that way. It would have benefited immensely from having something that allowed a little bit of precision and not having to like fiddle with the sticks and point in the right direction.
There is like those, like, I think if you push the Y button, you get sort of an over the shoulder view, but it's not quite gyro controls.
Yeah, right. Gyro. That's the word I was looking for.
What I thought you were going to say is, so something that you can do with the analog triggers is you start pressing it to spray, and then when you click it in all the way, that's when he sort of plants in place, and then you can aim the stream. You're not like running around at that point.
Right.
And you can still do that in the Switch version. I think they just put that on a separate button. Whereas on the GameCube, it's controlled by that the analog trigger.
Oh. Right. Yeah, because there were the two options. There was like the walk and spray, which I never quite got right. I always ended up like being way too close to the thing I was trying to spray because I was doing both simultaneously. And the other one was sort of like stand still and spray. Yeah.
Yeah, but it like in terms of the Switch version, at least, it just feels like another instance of like the hover thing being an extra button. It's just like one more button you have to remember to plant in place, which is like the game in general. The controls are fairly unintuitive, just having to manage all these backpack functions, so it's not ideal.
Yeah. I mean, the rest of it is cute and charming and relies on that old Mario chestnut of Princess Peach being kidnapped and you have to rescue her.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember it happened as we were playing it that first night, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that. I haven't seen Peach get kidnapped in so long in a game.
Yeah. She doesn't even get kidnapped for very long. It's just like you get her back in like 30 seconds or something.
Right,
but
yeah, it's pretty brief.
There was an attempt. They were trying to do it again.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just an unusual experience with a Mario game where I just didn't like the way that it controlled. Because in general, I sort of find these experiences to be pretty charming.
It feels like it should be better. Like all the pieces are there.
Yeah.
It's just the weird backpack sort of throws a wrench in the whole thing. It's like I didn't really care for Yoshi's Island, which is like a fun game, but it's not really what I consider a Mario game because you've got the weird like eggs that you're throwing around.
Right.
And you've got to deal with baby Mario.
Babies. Yep.
Yeah. I'm just like, what if there was like a fan hack of this game where you didn't have the backpack and it was just like typical Mario stuff? Yeah. Although now that I said that, did you do one of the challenge levels in this?
I don't believe I did. No.
Okay. I think, I forget how you keep accessing it or how you access it. It's like, maybe like hidden in one of the stages, but there are sort of the typical challenge levels where you'll go to this area, which is just sort of like a bunch of abstract blocks and you have to get to the end. And for those areas, you don't have the backpack. And like the platforming is still not good in those. So I can't put all of the blame on the backpack as much as I'd like to. There's just something like weird. They kind of dropped the ball with just how Mario moves around in this.
Do you think it is the transition between kind of like classic controllers and modern controllers? I mean, clearly they sort of operate differently. What
do you mean?
Like the way that like controllers in, when the hell did this game come out? 1997? Something like that.
This was like 2002 or something?
I was going to say it's not quite that old, yeah. Whatever technology powered wired controllers at that time.
Oh, I see.
Is different from the way that kind of modern Bluetooth and analog and yada yada buttons work. So just something about the way that this game was ported maybe is the failure. I wonder if people playing this in 2002 had the same complaint about the way that Mario moves.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't rule it out, but like when like the GameCube controllers were wired, so that it definitely wasn't a Bluetooth issue back then.
Right.
That
would be the modern.
Yeah. The modern ones might have some amount of input lag, but I also kind of think like even Mario 64, which I really enjoy, and I think I can control it pretty well. Like, he is just a little, like, looser and a little more slippery than in, like, Mario Odyssey. And, of course, the cameras, it, like, behaves super differently than modern cameras. So, there is a little of that, just sort of, like, retro jank, I suppose. But again, like, I can play Mario 64. I don't really have a strong desire to go back and play more Mario Sunshine.
Yeah. But anyways, I feel like I can cross this off my list now. So
yeah, I think you did your time.
Yeah.
Wait. Did you do the bloober surfing?
Bloober surfing? No, I don't think I did.
Okay, it's like it's the second shine in that harbor stage.
Oh, yeah, I definitely didn't get that far.
Yeah.
When I went back to play it after you and I streamed it, I didn't even go back to the harbor. I was like, there's got to be something else I can do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay. Well, now that knowing that you have to get past the first harbor shine, that's a whole other ask. But I was just like, you got to experience the bloober racing because it is awful. And now I'm pretty sure that's where I dropped the game on my previous attempt to play it. I was just like, if they ask me to do this one more time, that's it. I can't deal with it. And so this time I was very surprised because I got through it in one attempt. But at the same time, I was like, this is not good. Like, at any moment, this could go completely off the rails and it'll be incredibly frustrating. But yeah, it was just another part of the game that does not feel fun to play. Well,
good try, Nintendo.
Yeah. I really would like to enjoy this game, but there's just so many nebulous qualities that I don't like.
Maybe there will be an inevitable update or port to the Switch 2 or 3 or 5 at some point in the future where they completely clean up and remap all of the buttons.
It's a real shame that they didn't put a little more effort into this port, because like that would have been the opportunity.
Like a very low effort port, yeah.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of people, is whatever they feel about Mario Sunshine, a lot of people are saying like, yeah, they didn't really put a lot of extra bells and whistles on this one. Like it's widescreen, I think is the major change. But in that sense, or that with respect to that, I'm sort of curious about how the GameCube app version is going to play. Like, is it going to have the analog water spraying? I don't know. I may, I may put another hour or so into Mario Sunshine once again when that version comes out, and then like that'll be it. Then just no more Mario Sunshine ever.
You're dying to get mileage out of that GameCube controller.
I'm just like desperate. Well, no, not the controller. Like the controller is fine, but I'm just like, give me some version of Mario Sunshine that I like playing. Just like I'm desperate. Like somebody's gonna make it happen somehow. I'm probably just in denial at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I will tell my uncle who works at Nintendo.
Okay. There are so many other things that I'd rather than be working on than a Mario Sunshine like rehabilitation port. That it's not something I really need. If they announced Mario Sunshine 2, that would be an amazing troll. But like maybe that would be good. Who knows? Yeah,
maybe it would be amazing.
Yeah, but like they've had so many chances to get people to enjoy Mario Sunshine. I think we can just leave that back on the GameCube.
All right, we should wrap this thing up.
All right. Is that everything? Yeah, I think we covered it.
Yeah. If you need any more video game hangover in your brain, you should follow us on Blue Sky. We are VGHangover.com there. And you can always get show notes and links and tell us what you thought about this episode at VGHangover.com. We would love for you to join us on Discord. You can get a link to that at VGHangover.com. What else? August is our Backlog Attack month. If you want to clean up some old games from your collection, go to our Discord and chat about that with us as well. What else? Please subscribe, rate, and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, and anywhere else you can get a podcast. And maybe tell your friends about the show.
Yeah, it really helps us bring in new listeners just by spreading word of mouth about the show. We really appreciate that. we would love to hear what everybody else thinks about Mario Sunshine. I know there's at least one person in the Discord who was saying that's like their favorite Mario game.
Yeah.
And I was
Shout
like,
out to Twisted Link is going to die on that hill.
yeah. And I'm just like, I wish I could see the same thing that you do in this game. Like I said, I'm desperate. I just want to enjoy Mario Sunshine. But, just tell your, Mario Sunshine friends, Mario Sunshine enjoyers, whatever, about the show. They can come and set me straight.
Music?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else about Mario Sunshine.
Oh, no. I was going to remind people that we are going to stream Banjo-Kazooie to try to get that Mario Sunshine stink off of us.
Yeah.
On Monday.
It was like,
Monday, August.
Find out whether I enjoy this more than Mario Sunshine.
Right. We'll see. We'll compare and contrast. Yeah. Monday, August 11th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Go to twitch.tv/VGHangover for those shenanigans.
Yeah. And then finally, we'd like to give thanks to RJ Lake for our intro and outro music this week. If you'd like to hear more of his work, you can go to spellmynamewithabang.bandcamp.com and download that whole discography.
Yeah. Last Friday was Bandcamp Day. You can go back in time.
It was, yes.
And spend all of your money on RJ Lake's music. It's really good.
Yeah.
We'll be back soon. Until then, this is Randy Dickinson.
This is DJ Ross.
Thanks for listening to Video Game Hangover. Goodbye.
Good night.
Have a good one.